Yes. It's Wednesday. It is day 2 of Remarkable Women Lead Differently week. Day 2. It's a short week. Listen, let's have Neo sing it for us a little bit. Yes. I don't own the rights to these musics. I don't own the rights to this music. Here we go. 3B. Hey girl, hey, listen, shoulder roll, shoulder roll. Ew, yes. Get ready for a little chitter chat as we have the girls join in for today's programming, Day to Day with Dorothy. Listen. Hello, TCS sister. So I had a little Neo playing so we could kick off, right? So I said that I would have, some girl power music each day this week, especially because this week is Remarkable Women Lead Differently, right? And so when we show up powerfully, we got to have the music to go with it. Let me pause Neo. Okay, he doesn't want to pause because he wants to sing to us. He wants to serenade us a little bit. And I don't blame him. So today's title, I'm going to pin it on Instagram, is going to be, You Can Be the Woman of Your Dreams. Listen. Oh, shoulder rolls. Yes. Okay, look, let me pin it in here. You can, I sound like I'm just, listen, sing, Neo, sing. You can be the woman of your, so look, I'm so glad that Apple finally got it together and added swipe. Will you believe that you can be the woman of your dreams? Here we go. Because I feel like if I pin it and it's wrong, I don't think I can unpin it. So I want to make sure I, snatch my edges and get it together. So when it was time for me to think about switching to iPhone, I sincerely didn't want to because I was hands down Droid all the way. Go Droid, go Droid. And then one of the main reasons was because I am a fan of swipe. And in my mind, if iPhone or Apple, whoever, couldn't get it together to add swipe to help me be successful, sis couldn't be bothered. So it took me a really, really long time to switch to Apple. And I promise, I think, because Apple users, we just go so hard for Apple, right? And we swear that it's the very, 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 very best. But when I tell you the first 3 years that I was on Apple, all I did was complain. That's it. That's all I had for Apple was complaints. Now, I will say, having Apple products, for me, they never crash because I actually use my phone. I actually use my computer. I actually was using my iPad when I had it. And I worked these things to the bone. And when I say that Bessie be in it to win it, she doesn't crash. She doesn't, get riddled with viruses the way that my my PC or my Dell, whatever, would get all just virusy and sickly. I think that my PCs had COVID before COVID knew to become COVID. So I am definitely a proud Apple user. And I just really love how everything integrates so nicely. My phone talks to my computer talks to my phone. This is beautiful, especially when I'm, putting my content together. I just airdrop it to myself. Yes? Listen, I am virusy. I'm convinced. Hi, TCS mommy and daddy. Shoulder roll. Thanks for joining. So, yes, I am definitely all Apple's out. I do have a Samsung tablet, and this tablet is what was playing our tunage to kick off with a little Neo, a little independent woman, a little bit of a shoulder roll, and all it is. Yes, yes, yes. So, yeah, that's kind of what I have going on. I'm gonna make some lunner after this. This will be like lunch and dinner together. So I'm going to make that cabbage slaw I told you all about a couple weeks ago, because I'm salivating, with a little bit of red wine vinegar, of course, mayonnaise. What else? Smoked salt. Ugh, so good. And some green onions, specifically the white tops. Oh my God, it's going to be divine. Divine. I cannot wait. All right, let's see where we are. So yeah, that's a little chitter chat for us. And you know I've been meowing about these lashes, right? Because I thought my poor little eyeballs are going to fall out. And now I have switched it up. Listen, Ilor, if you want me to, if you want to send me some free lashes, feel free. So here's what I ended up doing. I, put the magnetic eyeliner on, and then I wait. And I do, some more of my makeup, and then I let it dry a little bit or a lot of it, and then I do another layer, and I do that until I've got all 3 layers, and then I apply the magnetic lashes, and this is the final look. Listen, I tried to wink and I can't even take myself seriously, but this is the final look. So this is what we've come up with. Please let me know if they betray me. If they start doing the crip walk on this live or any live, be like, sis, your lash, it's coming off. And then that'll probably be the last time that I wear magnetic lashes. I cannot, because then I just would have all of the embarrassment all over me, even though I've already told you they're fake. Okay. All right. So that is our chitter chat. Let's jump into the meat of our conversation. You can be the woman of your dreams. Listen, I heard someone say that to me. I was talking to these counseling experts and really trying to convince them to start a podcast, because y'all, this version of counseling will set us all free. I mean, it's for everybody, but it was created by this powerful, amazing Black woman. And I just love, the opportunity for stuff for us, by us. I am here for all of it. So as I'm trying to convince them of the podcast, she's telling me about her leadership journey, how she came to create this counseling method, etc. And she says, I just wanted to be the woman of my dreams. Sis, I'm absolutely stealing that. If you are watching LG, shoulder roll, the title came from you. So look, when I was thinking about the different topics that I wanted to talk about this week, one of them that really stood out to me that I think is so important for us as women leaders is this idea of meaning. Oh my goodness. Now, not to say that it doesn't matter for men, and not to say that men don't talk about it, but look, I hear us ladies talking about it all of the time. We always talk about, what's the meaning? What's our purpose? Why are we here? What's our calling? I want to chase after X at a fever pitch pace. I want to be unapologetic about it, right? And so when we're thinking about our jobs, what is the importance of meaning when we go to work every day? Oh my God, y'all, we spend so much time at work. What's the importance of having meaning when we're going to work every day? How do we find the meaning? What is meaning in the first place? So I've got my notes, because I be trying to be prepared for y'all. But I have 3 big ideas, right? 3 buckets I want us to explore together today. But the first one is really around why meaning matters in the first place. And as we get ready to jump in, hey, TCS Auntie, yes, shoulder roll. As we get ready to jump in, if I have been shared with you and you're thinking, who are you? I enjoy your earrings, or I enjoy this neon, but who are you? I'm Dorothy Enriquez. I am the principal and founder of The Communication Strategist, a boutique learning and leadership development firm where I help ordinary people become remarkable leaders. Yes, as I like to say, why be ordinary when you could be remarkable? Yes, yes. And if you're watching, I know sis is not out here trying to be all regular, degular. You don't want to just be average, right? Whether you're a corporate hustler or a side hustler or an entrepreneur, you aren't out here just making average products that are super ordinary, super regular, right? You're not out here trying to get an average promotion or work an average type job. You want to take that stuff to the next level, right? And so that's why we come together every day to talk about how do we do that? How do we move away from ordinary and towards remarkable? How do we make that transition? And how do we do it without killing ourselves? Because that, I think, is the big piece. You better pitch, ma'am. Yes. Hey, Joanna. Shoulder roll, shoulder roll. So look, here's the deal, right? When we're thinking about, this thing that we do every day between the weekends, that thing called work, it could either be a slog, like, I wish I could retire tomorrow, or it could be this thing that gives us a lot of purpose and meaning, right? So I want to kick off with a quote from the gal pal, Katherine Graham. And if you're like, who the hell is Katherine Graham? She's the one who, founded the Post. I mean, at first it belonged to her husband. And when he died, AKA when he blew his head off, it transitioned over to her. They have a whole movie about it. It's actually really good. So look, to love what you do and feel like it matters, what could be better than that? That's her quote. And I said, right? When I think about my first, 4 years in corporate, look, a slog between weekends. Do you hear me? And I've always been, of the school of thought that I work to live. I don't live to work. And so it just felt like such a drag because there really wasn't a ton of meaning in what I did day to day that I hated my job. And I didn't know what my purpose was, right? I didn't know what my calling was at the time. I didn't even know that I really needed one. I thought I just need to be successful. I need to go get a good job. I need to, get all these degrees and don't be dependent on no man and seen, right? And then as I start working, I realized very quickly, there's gotta be, listen, I literally went home one day and told my dad, there's gotta be more to life than this. Because if this is it and the buck stops right here, I want no parts. I'm gonna just have to come home and live off the fat of the land because I just can't with this work thing. And the reason why I felt so tormented is because I could not find meaning in what I was doing, nor did I know to seek after meaning in what I was doing. So let's see who we got. Hey, Kermit. Shoulder roll. That's my boo, y'all. Hey, Opulent Mind Shift. Thanks for tuning in. Hello, Emerald Mill. Shoulder roll, y'all. So today we're talking about meaning, right? How do we become the girl of our dreams? How do we become the woman of our dreams? So meaning matters, right? I've got 3 buckets I want to touch on. The first one being this idea that meaning matters. Because what meaning does for us, right, is it lets us push to the end of our capabilities and then beyond that. When we find meaning in what we are doing, the way that we will run through a wall on our own behalf and push forward and then push beyond that, listen, think about that project that you loved. You wanted it, you had your eye on it, you finally got it assigned to you because you knew you could show up brilliantly, you could show up boldly, and you'd be able to do the next thing, which is leverage your strengths, leverage your talents, and leverage your capacity, right? And then expand it beyond that. When we have these opportunities to find meaning in what we're doing at work, sometimes in these really big tasks and assignments and projects, but sometimes in the small things, right? We find meaning because we're able to help people. We find meaning because, in the little things that we do, we're able to make a difference. And what it does in knowing that meaning matters is it gives us permission to set these audacious goals, even in the context of small beginnings, even in the context of small wins. And what do I mean by that? Let me share a story, right? So I've shared with you guys a bunch of times, I quit my job when I was 30. I just knew God was telling me quit and go do your magazine full time. And when you say that God tells you to do it, no one can argue with you. So I quit my job. It was a total bust. And 6 months later, promptly, I found myself back in corporate America. And it wasn't just a regular job, right? So I had this robust background, right, in training and development and leadership and stuff like that. And I end up getting a job with a title that says, training specialist or whatever it was at the time. But truly, y'all, being transparent, I was a glorified assistant. I mean, I had to get coffee. I had to plan meals and deliver the meals and unlock doors and set up chairs. And in my mind, right, if I'm being honest, in my mind, I thought to myself, in my head and out loud, you want me to get coffee? You want me to set up these? I have a master's degree. I have, at the time, what was it? Probably 8 years of experience in the field for what I do. I don't want to be setting up no chairs, especially not at no midnight. I could be in my bed. Why do I have to unlock the door? How come you can't just mail her a key so she could just let herself in, so he could just set up these chairs? We're paying them enough. They should set up their own chairs. But then very quickly, y'all, I decided to find meaning in what I was doing. And low-key, I told myself, hey, if they want to pay you all this money to be an admin, you better be the best damn admin they've ever seen. I literally would go into those rooms at 10 p.m. at night with all of the guys sitting there to learn their craft, whether it was something about being a mechanic or an electrician, whatever. And I'd say, okay, so what kind of sandwich did you want? Did you want anything special on that? Did you want some mayonnaise with that? Did you want some avocados on the side? Do you want us to make guacamole with that? How do you like your coffee? I could get here a few minutes earlier to make sure that the chairs are perfect. I could help you, when you're done, I will come back and lock this door up for you. You don't have to lock it. I'll keep you company while you're getting your paper squared away. Because when you realize that there can be meaning even in the small things, and that is truly where I learned this concept of customer satisfaction. Because guess what happy customers do? Guess what that means for our organizations that we work in? That means happy shareholders, happy clients, happy customers, happy shareholders. What does that mean? More money, more money. And then if you want to pay me all this money to be this glorified admin, listen, I'm going to be the best admin ever. Did you want steak? Yep, that's what we putting on the menu then. You're going to get steak. And finding meaning in the things that we're doing, even if it doesn't always feel like what we had in mind, so that we can be able to push forward. And in doing that, you would think, Dorothy, but why? I got noticed. Every single client that I partnered with, they were going back to my boss and my boss's boss and my boss's boss's boss to say something about me. Right? That's why I created the plug, right? Become the remarkable leader everyone wants to know. You would think that in me getting this coffee, setting up these chairs, ordering this custom food, it was all for naught. Nah, that's how sis got multiple promotions back to back, by just taking that step and finding meaning and purpose in what I was doing. Meaning matters. The next idea that I want to explore is just, what is meaning anyway, right? And so the quick answer is that meaning is a form of happiness. But the cool part of meaning is that it is the highest form of happiness. So happiness has 3 levels. Meaning is the highest form, because when we find meaning in what we do, meaning in what we spend 8 to 10 hours doing every day, right? Because we are at work the longest part of the day. When we find meaning in it, it's not temporary. It is not fleeting. It is going to stay with us. It's long lasting and it's enduring, right? And I would even venture to say that meaning can sometimes fuel this idea of legacy, right? Because we're finding meaning in what we're doing. The bottom level of happiness, or the first level rather, would be like pleasure, right? So, when I start salivating over this food, that would be like the first level, because when I bite into, that fish sandwich that I'm going to make, listen, just thinking about it, when I bite into that sandwich, I am going to be so happy. But then as soon as I gobble it all up, it's gone. And that's not going to be able to sustain us, right? If we look at work like that really great catfish dinner that we have on Fridays, or that really great meal that we make on Sundays, it's not long lasting. Because after we eat the meal, we can't taste it. We can imagine it, we can describe it, but we can't taste it. And so when we move up the happiness ladder, if you will, all the way to meaning, meaning is where we find that long-lasting, enduring happiness. That's where we start to peel back the layers and discover things like purpose, and discover things like calling, right? And so sometimes you'll meet people, though, who aren't super young, like they're not 14, 15, 16, 17. They're in their 20s, they're in their 30s, they're in their 40s, sometimes they're in their 50s, and they're saying, I'm still trying to discover my purpose. I'm still on a quest to find my meaning. And here's what's true. That's not a bad thing, right? Sometimes people beat themselves up, right? We just want to keep punching ourselves in the eye because we don't know our meaning. We don't know our purpose yet. We don't know our calling. It's a journey. Did you know that people could be in a job for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years before they have that epiphany, like, I love this shit. I love this. I love what I do. The thought of not working at this organization, the thought of not working with these amazing people every day, I don't even want to have the thought. I love this. That is cool. That is totally okay. We don't have to, figure it out immediately. In my mind, right, I feel like it took me forever to connect the dots. Because I didn't know, right? I didn't know meaning was a thing. I didn't know meaning had anything to do with me being able to step powerfully into my leadership, especially as a woman leader. I didn't know that. What? And I had no idea what my purpose was. I think I was always kind of, getting at it here and there. But again, I wasn't finding meaning because it wasn't long lasting and it wasn't enduring. It would be quite fleeting, right? But as women leaders, what we need joy and we need meaning. We need these two elements to live together pretty consistently. And the way that we find meaning is by looking for it, right? So the way that we start to discover, is this for real what we want? Is when the obstacles and challenges come our way when we're going to work every day, right? You and food, the examples of the breakdown. Listen, I love me some food, okay? I'm a 600-pound woman inside. So, when you think about the obstacles and challenges that you face at work, right? You are on this amazing project that you've had your sights on, or you're in that next position that you've been working so hard for. You finally got that promotion. You finally went from individual contributor to people leader. And as the obstacles and challenges come your way, like fire-breathing dragons, what's your response? Do you throw up the deuces and say, like, I'm quitting. I don't want to do people anymore. They get on my nerves. I don't want this project anymore. I can't stand it. I don't know why I ever, blah, blah, blah. Like, or do you push? Do you push? It is through the obstacles and challenges that we start to find out where we find our meaning. What's our purpose? What makes us push to the end of our capability and then go beyond that? That's when we find meaning. And that's when we start to discover why we're here, right? When we start to look at these things, oh my God, y'all, it could be such a game changer completely. Okay, so my last point, which I started to kind of touch on a little bit, is it doesn't always come to us right away, right? And I sometimes still think, while I feel like I'm pretty clear on my purpose and calling at this point, sometimes I uncover additional pieces. For example, I knew that my purpose was really around helping leaders close that leadership gap, right? Because 77% of organizations have identified a gap at every single level. That is staggering in the US, right? So I'm like, yeah, no, this really aligns with what I've been doing over the last, 15 some years. Like, this is great. This is really important to me. And regardless of the obstacles that come in my way, I keep pushing, I keep going. But in the last 3-4 years, three-ish, I've really realized that I want to help women specifically, and women of color. And when I think back over from, when I was 18, 19, 20, all the way to now, it makes so much sense. How come it took me so long? But that's the whole thing, right? It's like 20 years later. But it's okay if we don't figure it out right away. It may not come to us immediately. And so sometimes it's this jungle gym of experiences, right? A lot of times people think the corporate experience just goes straight up and down or straight across with a lot of lateral moves. And really, it's like a jungle gym. Sometimes we take, we are very like Paula Abduling it. 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. Like, it's not a straight line, and that's okay. If it doesn't come to us right away, as long as we're breathing, we still have time to figure it out. But what I will say is this: when leaders are happy, meaning, right, highest level, when leaders are happy, it's contagious. When leaders are happy, they are more effective. When leaders are happy, their teams perform so much better. And when leaders are happy, they are less stressed and they have higher job satisfaction. So as women leaders, it does nothing but benefit us to find meaning in what we do every day when we go to work as corporate hustlers. Oh my God, y'all. Let's find the meaning, even when it's in small beginnings, even when it's in humble beginnings. And sometimes even if it's in those jobs where we're kind of scratching our head, thinking, how did I end up here? As we get ready to make that next step, let's always look for the meaning, because as women leaders, this is so important for our journey. And this is what helps us as remarkable women. This is what helps us lead differently. So that's my 2 cents, y'all. If you enjoyed this video, if there was some content in here that you just were shoulder rolling with me, share this video with a friend, put it directly in your feed, or drop it in your stories, or, however other ways you can share, and let the gals know, or the guys, I saw this video. It was really helpful. I remember we were talking about something similar. I think you should watch. So you could hit the little paper plane in Instagram, and shoulder roll. Thanks in advance for sharing. You could hit the little share button in Facebook. Look, camera 1, camera 2, camera 1, camera 2. I will pose for you if you are challenged like me with technology. Sometimes I look at technology and I'm like, what? Yes, immortal minds. Wow, that's amazing. So true. There's power in reflecting on what brought us joy early on in life. Right? Thank you for that opulent mind shift. Yes. So look, I will pose for you so that you can go ahead and share. And feel free to sign up for the Corporate Hustlers newsletter. All you have to do is click the link in the bio and join the Corporate Hustlers, where I share information that I don't share online, even though I share quite a bit online. And I'm getting ready to send out a new email to all of my corporate hustlers who are in the council. That's what I call it affectionately. Okay, look, I'm going to pose for you so that you can share with a friend. Also, too, listen, I pose for you so that you don't have me like, and you're like, yeah, watch this video. And they're like, she looks insane. I'm not going to watch. Because you know how you try to screenshot people and you never get them just right because they're not really being still for you to catch them. So that is why. So I'm here for the magic. And listen, when I see that someone has shared and they've like screenshotted, I'm like, see, and now I don't look crazy. What a win. Also, side note, I made reference to the plug. That is my newest ebook that is available for purchase. And so look, all you have to do is click the link in the bio. Who doesn't want to become the remarkable leader everyone wants to know? I know that in the first 5 years of my career, this would have been a game changer. And when I think about all the leaders I've worked with who are leading people, this would have been a game changer. Because at the end of the day, right, we want to show up powerfully and authentically. And honestly, sometimes we just don't know how to do that, right? And that's what the plug helps us to do. It helps us to tap into those different characteristics and attributes of leadership and figure out in a way that resonates with us, how do we show up in a more congruent, well-rounded, and flexible way? Because at the end of the day, right, we want to make more money. And we make more money when we show up as us, right? No one could be a better you than you. You are called to become the woman of your dreams. So listen, everyone's a leader. We are required to lead from every seat we sit in. Thanks for tuning in, Outspoken Wifey. So that is all I have for you all today. I will see you back here tomorrow at some point, right when the little baby is napping. Shoulder roll. All right, y'all. Until tomorrow. Bye. Facebook, listen, you always get the last shoulder roll. Yes. Do you enjoy this, Neon? Listen, I enjoy it. Do you enjoy it? I'm here for this color. I feel like this is where it's at. Let me know what you think in the comments. All right, bye y'all. Tomorrow.